Hi there, and thank you for joining me for today's live reading of Taz, the third book in Devil's Handmaidens MC, and this is presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Chapter 1, Taz, Raquel, K. This has to be a goddamn mistake. There is no other explanation for something of this magnitude. Fuck, I'm always on top of all of the accounts. How did this happen? Knowing I have no choice at all, a phone call is going to have to go out to my Prez and VP. This can have a downward effect on how we manage our human trafficking side of the business, especially since we have that lawsuit from the one victim we saved 6 months ago. What a little bitch she turned out to be. And how this is even an issue, no idea, but somehow she's managed to not only get an attorney, but file her complaint in the courts. Before reaching for the phone, I grab my amethyst worry stone, rubbing on it for strength and, more importantly, courage. I'm dreading this call. My office is just like my house. It has crystals all over. I have a chakra chain hanging right above my desk. I've believed in crystals and their powers since I left Wisconsin and discovered who my true inner self was. Thankfully, Goddess, God, or whomever is looking out for me because both Tink's and Glory's phones go to voicemail, so I can leave each of them a message to call me back as soon as they can. After that, I finally place the worry stone down on its selenite plate to recharge. I take a quick minute and try to think how this could have actually happened. I'm so careful, have all of my firewalls and securities on our systems, and I update regularly. Raven checks that shit for me religiously. She also has a separate offsite storage area. My office in the clubhouse is always shut and locked. Only way in is with a fingerprint and eye scan with the 4-digit code only a few limited people know. Sounds crazy, but I run the books for both our club and Tink's personal stuff. And Tink's financial portfolio would make just about anyone drool, thanks to her grandma. Running my hands through my long rainbow-colored hair, I feel the fingers of my anxiety starting to spread throughout my body. No, can't let that happen. I don't lose control. Never. Not anymore. I imagine my safe place in my mind, trying to do what my psychologist has told me to do whenever I have an anxiety or panic episode. I lean back, close my eyes, and take some large, deep breaths in, hold for 8 seconds, and then blow out slowly. After a few minutes, I feel the stress leaving my shoulders and can actually take in some air without my chest constricting tightly. Between the weird shit happening to me lately at home and now this, no wonder my anxiety is going through the roof. Should have known something bad was about to go to shit when yesterday I received that box of crystal all smashed to hell. And I didn't even order them, so what the hell? And what a waste, too. From what I could see, they looked absolutely gorgeous, or the pieces did. Going back to the banking site, I recheck my calculations and shit, it's the same as before. Somehow there was over $750,000 in change missing from one of Tink's, our president's, private accounts. For some, that would devastate them, thinking they lost more than their life savings. But for Tink, who inherited a massive amount that neither she, her grandbabies, and great-grandbabies will ever be able to blow through from her grandmother, it's barely a nut in the barrel. Still, in my mind, that's a whole hell of a lot of money to show up suddenly missing. And what's worse, no one from the goddamn bank reached out to me per the setup of these accounts as a safety measure. Well, that worked well. Not sure what else to do. I put in a call to the bank manager / vice president. I've been dealing with Cynthia Mix since she started. She's a nice lady, single mom with 2 young children. Yeah, I had Raven do a background check because we do a lot of business with this financial institution and needed to make sure I knew who had access to these accounts. Good afternoon. Cynthia, please. May I ask who's calling? Yeah, can you tell her it's Taz from the Devil's Handmaidens? Need a word with her. As I wait for the call to connect, my mind is trying to fix this problem. Last time I checked this account was when Tink informed me she needed me to get some money together for Panther. He's Shadow's man now, but at the time all I knew was he was a hot as fuck guy who looked like every woman's wet dream hanging around our enforcer. Now I'm always up for a good dream every now and then, but when Tink told me why he needed it, every dream vanished from my mind. Panther was like our club, trying to stop human trafficking one circuit at a time. Saying that, I thank the powers that be for my own handsome dream guy in my life. My phone ringing has me jumping like an idiot in my chair. Without looking at it, I answer. Hey, you got Taz. Sister, it's Glory. What's up? Glory, got a situation. We need to talk it through with you and Tink. Can you make your way to my office today? I'm waiting to hear back from our press. Then I can text the time. Yeah, I can make it, but remember Tink and Noodles took a few days off. After that fucked up mess with the 4 runaways to Texas, both Tink and Noodles needed some alone time. Think they went to Bozeman. I could be wrong. Can this wait, or do you want me to still come by? Shit. Forgot all about Tink being gone. Well, this can't wait, so guess I have my answer. Glory, think we need to deal with this sooner rather than later, so yeah, stop by whenever. I'm here. Okay, maybe I'll grab Shadow. She's prowling the hallway and main room with no one to torture or kill. The two of us will be there shortly. See ya. Oh, fuck. Just what I don't need. Our badass, know-it-all enforcer getting in my face and up in my business. Guess I'm being rough on Shadow, since she's the reason I'm even here in Timber Ghost, Montana, and part of the Devil's Handmaidens MC. Damn, just the thought of that day when Shadow convinced me to trust her, now I'm truly starting to lose it. That's a joke in itself, because I didn't even do anything wrong. I've spent years in the Devil's Handmaidens Club, even went through prospecting and became a member, trying to rebuild everything in me that he ruined with his words and fists. I thank the powers around me daily that I fought tooth and nail to escape, not only just for myself, but also for Teddy, my 6-year-old autistic son. I made a promise to Teddy the day he was born that nothing would ever come before him. After we lost his father, and I managed to find a total jagoff who I brought into our lives. When I found out he was on the verge of spreading his evil to my son is when I decided it was time to finally leave his demented ass. The main reason was, on that day, Slick grabbed my son, shaking him to get him to shut up and stop crying. The only reason I didn't kill the son of a bitch that day was because he and his boys beat me, and I was left bleeding on the floor at his feet. We both ended up hospitalized. Seeing him manhandle my boy with absolutely no regrets made my decision so fucking easy. I'd gotten used to Slick's beatings and repeatedly raping me. I thought that it was me, that I did something wrong to upset him. Well, my mother always said I couldn't do anything right. I found an asshole who, no matter what I did, and I was always trying to please him, it was wrong. Then I saw some video late one night on television about finding and connecting with oneself. So I started to look into crystal healing and different cards for readings, mainly Oracle, but Slick hated the stupid, useless stones all over the house. I got to hiding my more precious stones and things because he would try to break them or just throw them away when I was at work. Well, his reasoning was he would find something wrong in everything I did. I think back to the time I made him exactly what he told me he wanted for dinner, only to have him fling the plate across the room, screaming it was too salty or tasted like shit. I forget which. I knew in my gut if I stayed, eventually Slick would kill me and teach my son to be just like him. A hateful man who thought only his kind were allowed to live and walk this earth. Or my worst thoughts were he'd kill Teddy for not being able to be the jerk asshole that he was. Feeling the beginnings of a headache, I get up and go to the little bathroom off of my office. I splash some cold water on my face and light one of my meditation incense sticks. Then I grab some medication, close the medicine cabinet, and see my reflection in the mirror. Makes me remember how I looked that day I literally ran into Shadow. I had been driving nonstop since I stole one of Slick's cars. I wanted to get as far away from Wisconsin as fast as I could so I wouldn't get caught. Teddy was coming down with something, so besides stopping to fill up the tank, I needed some children's over-the-counter medication for him. When it hit me, I left my purse in the car. I turned suddenly and ran smack dab into the middle of all that is Shadow. Having to look up into her face as she is so much taller than me, I screamed, at the same time took a few steps away from her, almost falling on my ass. Her tattoo reminded me of the death fairy I treasured and was packed in a box in the back of my car. One of the few things not broken and destroyed by Slick. She never acted like my actions hurt her feelings. She just grabbed me and prevented me from falling down. Then all she did was search my face. It was kind of eerie. I was never sure what she saw, but when she patted my shoulders, I felt like someone finally had my back. That thought in itself was crazy because she looked justifiably insane, and I didn't know her from Adam. She stood there for a bit before asking me if I was in some trouble. When I didn't answer, she told me to stay in Timber Ghost. When I said I didn't know anyone, she weirdly said I know her now and asked me if I could trust her. A woman who has a skull-tatted face asking me point blank if I could trust her. And to this day, I'm not sure why, but I did trust her. Something in my gut told me I could, not to mention, more importantly, standing with her, I felt safe, which I hadn't felt in years. I'd already seen evil at its worst, so just because she, for some unknown reason, tattooed her face, that alone didn't make her a bad person. That would make me a hypocrite to my own self, since my beliefs a lot of people didn't understand. I've been called a witch and worse for things I believe in and practice, like my oracle cards and my crystals. Then to top it off, Shadow won Teddy over when she first met him on day 1. The rest is history. She helped me find somewhere to live. Well, that's not exactly true. She talked to Tink, and they gave me an opportunity. To this day, I don't know why. They offered me a job on the ranch to take care of the place and cook meals. For that, they would pay me, give me and Teddy benefits, and a small cabin behind the main house. I know my mouth dropped open because I wasn't used to people doing nice things for me without wanting something in return. That's the world I lived in before the Devil's Handmaidens. When I hesitated, Tink came up to me, grabbing my hand, telling me no one would ever put their hands on me again unless it was what I wanted. How she knew Slick raped me constantly, I don't know, but that alone made me say yes between my tears. So that day, Teddy and I became an extended part of the Devil's Handmaidens MC. Mama Diane, after just a little bit, became Teddy's Grammy, and Tank his granddaddy. We were enveloped into this crazy as fuck family fold before I knew it, and damn, it felt so good. Like we finally belonged somewhere, into a bunch of someones. When Tink and Glory approached me to prospect for the club, I hesitated. I had a kid to think about, but the way they explained it to me, I'd be a member eventually, which came with so many more benefits for both of us. And because of Teddy, I'd mainly take care of the books and banking for the club business. When Glory found out I had an associate's in finance, she jumped on it. They also offered to send me to school to further my education, something I've wanted to do forever, but Slick told me no fucking way, didn't need to waste my time and money, so it didn't take me long to agree to all of it. Prospecting with a child was not easy at all. I know the club sisters took it easier on me than other prospects, which I so appreciated. When I made it and got my patch and rocker, never was I prouder of my accomplishment, not even when I got my associates. As Teddy grew and got older, his autism became more of a problem. Mama Diane found a specialist in Billings who focused on childhood autism. Teddy was enrolled and went into the city once a week. Everyone took turns getting him to his appointments, which I think helped my son's condition and prevented him from going within himself. He's become more used to being around all types of folks, and to my utter shock and surprise, his favorite aunt of the Devil's Handmaidens is, of course, Shadow. So lost in my thoughts, I jump in my chair at the abrupt knock on the door. Oh crap, just my luck today. Bet Glory found Shadow, I think, fingers crossed. Though when she found Panther, she'd toned down a bit, but at the same time, she's even tougher and surer of herself. Yeah, come on in. Hey, Tazzy, brought our club pain in the ass with, since Tink is off and about. What's up? Once I get them situated at the small lounge area in my office, all of us with bottled water, I lean forward and just let it all out. I was auditing our club accounts along with Tink's ranch and private accounts, and one caught my attention. It's one of Tink's personal ones, and I don't have a fucking clue how, but it seems that over $750,000 in change is gone. Before you ask, I've got to call into the bank manager to find out why I wasn't alerted that such large amounts of funds were withdrawn without my approval. As soon as I saw it, I put the call out first to Tink. I forgot they were gone, then reached out to you, Glory. I've never had this happen, not sure what the proper protocol is. Glory leans forward, grabbing for her phone. Shadow is watching me very closely. I've known this sister since I made Timber Ghost, Montana my home, so even though she thinks she's all badass and everyone is afraid of her, I'm totally not. Especially in this situation, since I haven't done anything wrong. Go ahead, ask away, Shadow. No, I didn't take the money. First, don't need that amount. And second, if something came up and I found myself in trouble, I'd come to the club during chapel and talk it through. I make more than enough for Teddy and me to live on. Yeah, the new house is much more coming out of my bank account monthly, but I've been saving for years. And since Tink let me buy the acreage cheap from her, I was ahead of the game before I started to build my house. Then, thanks to Ollie and his people for all the help and mad skills. So no, Shadow, I didn't help myself to Tink's personal account money. I'd be a fool to even consider it. And before you go where you're going next, there's no one in my life who could have used me to get to these accounts. No one, and I mean no one, but Tink has the information for her personal accounts. I'm thinking maybe she's let Noodles in since they're planning on getting married, but she's not stupid at all, and neither am I. And that right there is above my pay grade. Our enforcer stares at me for ages before she shifts back into the couch, crossing her one leg over the other, and shocks the ever-loving crap out of me. Taz, I never thought that you took the fucking money. You don't have the ability to be that type of person. Too much heart. What worries me is someone was able to do this in between your audits. Who knows when you do the audits and what the schedule is? I know Tink, Glory, and I know about them. Any other club sisters? I shake my head because as far as I know, no one knows about my process with the books and accounts. I'm usually left alone since my work is in my office behind a desk. Not like some of the sisters who run the businesses or help out at the ranch, or when we have survivors who are here to recover. Some of the club sisters help out with those folks. Between my job and Teddy, and adding that I'm back at school mainly online, trying to get my master's in finance, my time is very limited. My days are full, as are my nights, with my son and homework. I maintain my duties as a devil's handmaiden sister, which means spending some time at the Wooden Spirits Bar and Grill or helping out at our trucking company. I tend to lean more towards the bar and grill since I can bring Teddy with, and while he's eating, I can help out with whatever's needed. Glory's on the phone, and I'm only hearing one side of the conversation. Hey, Prez, yeah, thank God. How did we find this? Because we have our sister Tazzy, who is so on top of shit and pays attention to everything. Okay, when do you think you'll be back? In a day or two? Cool. Yeah, I get it. Enjoy your time with your old man. I'll tell her and we'll move forward with contacting the bank personnel and doing a deep dive there. I'll put Raven on it and she can do her geek shit to see if anyone has had their hands in our cookie jar. Will do. Thanks, Tink. Tazzy, don't worry. Tink, like the two of us, know you had absolutely nothing to do with this. We just need to find out who does, though. I think the best way to... Hearing my phone ring, I get up to walk to my desk, then reach into my top drawer and pull it out, looking down. My heart almost stops beating when I see it's Teddy's school. Hey, Glory, sorry, gotta take this. It's Teddy's school. Hang on. Hello? Is this Raquel Smith? Yes, it is. What's going on? Is Teddy okay? Please, just tell me. Miss Smith, Teddy was injured during recess and just had an episode a few minutes ago. He started it off by being withdrawn when the kids got back in the school, then got moody with his teacher, which is rare, as you know he loves Mrs. James. When she questioned him, he jumped up holding his arm and ran to the corner crying. We've emptied the room, but he's rocking back and forth asking for you. Can you please come get your son? I'll be there right away, leaving now. Slamming the phone down on the desk, I jump up and reach for my sweater, then grab my purse, throwing my phone in it. Picking up the incense stick, I walk to the bathroom, running water over it, and leave it in the sink. I totally forgot Glory and Shadow are still here, sitting right in front of me. It's Shadow who asks the question. What's wrong with Teddy Bear, sister? Is everything okay? Not sure, Shadow. Fuck. He's having an episode. Something he's not experienced in, like, forever. Maybe it's the new medicine. I'm sorry. I've got to go pick him up. The school is requesting I come get him. Shit, what am I gonna do? We have to find out about the missing money and banking issue, but I can't just leave him when he's like this. Oh God, to top it off, my head is killing me. Another fucking migraine is not what I need right now. Damn it. Glory and Shadow stand, then walk toward my door. Come on, Tazzy, let's go get Teddy. We'll figure it out as we go. Move your ass, sister. Your kid needs us now. Glory puts her arm around my shoulders, walking me out to a club cage. Shadow comes out with a booster seat since Teddy is so small. Fuck, how does she even know we need that? Taz, I've had Teddy in my cage more than anyone else. He's gonna be fine. Just breathe. Glory, let's go. You drive. The school is only about an 8-minute drive from the clubhouse, but we make it there in under 5 minutes. I jump out of the SUV and jog to the entrance with my 2 club sisters behind me. When we enter and go to the office, it dawns on me that Shadow is very unique, especially with her skull-tatted face. When the receptionist stands, she shocks the total shit out of me. Hi, Raquel, thanks for coming in so quickly. I'll let our principal know you're here. Hey, Glory, Shadow, how's things? Glory replies, but even though it's polite, it is also very short. Shadow gives her chin a lift, and that's it. What got me is how the receptionist was almost hero-worshipping Shadow. If I wasn't so worried about Teddy, I'd burst out laughing. The principal walks in, and she doesn't hide her disgust at seeing Glory and Shadow. Or maybe she's wigged out because all 3 of us are wearing our cuts, which we do in town, always. Well, fuck her, silly. She doesn't know shit about us or our club. Where's my son? I need to see him. Make sure he's okay. Miss Smith, he's with the nurse. I'd be happy to show you where that is, and your friends can wait here for you. She goes to touch my arm when Shadow growls, which make her jump back. No, we'll all be going to get Teddy, Miss Jerkoff. Oh, sorry, Miss Jerksy. Lead the way. As we walk out, I hear the receptionist trying to hold in her giggles. I turn, looking at Shadow, who smirks and winks at me. Oh God, what is going on? She's actually being nice and kind of human. It has to be Panther being in her life, because usually she's always been like one of the devil's children on wheels. Walking into the nurse's office, I can hear Teddy crying uncontrollably. I rush to my baby, who raises one arm up as soon as he sees me. I go to grab him and pull him close with the intention of rocking back and forth, which usually calms him down, but this time he screams even louder. When his tears start rolling faster down his cheeks, I look down at him to see his thumb from his good arm is now in his mouth. Fuck. He's 6 years old and he only does the thumb thing when he's extremely anxious. Baby boy, you okay? Tell mama what's wrong. He looks at me with those big eyes before he looks around me, a small smile appearing on his face. Auntie Shadow, I want you. Come get me from mama. Please? My arm hurts really bad. That mean man twisted and squeezed it hard. I'm shocked and even a bit hurt. Shadow comes our way, mouthing sorry to me before gently picking up Teddy, pulling him to her chest. His hand starts to trace her skull tattoo, and Miss Jerksey makes a nasty face and says something under her breath. Then it hits me. He said that mean man. Who is that? So lost in my own thoughts, I miss the first part of their conversation, but catch the ending, and what I hear makes my blood freeze. Teddy, tell Auntie Shadow what's got you all riled up. You know I won't let anything or anyone hurt you. Come whisper it so it's between just the two of us. My son leans toward her, putting his cheek to hers so his mouth is at her ear. Unfortunately, Teddy doesn't understand a soft voice, so he talks in his normal one. Auntie Shadow, that scary mean man is back. I don't want Mama to know, but he was at the fence during our outside time and he was mean to me. Squeezed my arm and wrist really hard, trying to drag me closer so he could pull me over the fence. I think I heard something crack. I'm scared. My arm is beating like my heart. He looked really mad and meaner than he ever was before. Even my special crystal mama always makes me carry my back in my pocket to stay safe. Didn't work. Who is it, Teddy? I promise Auntie Shadow has your back, little man. You know that. Plus, I've been teaching you how to protect yourself, so you're not a little boy, but a tough big boy who can take care of himself, which you did today by getting away. Now, who is this jerk who's bothering you? My heart is beating and I'm having a hard time breathing, but when Teddy talks, I feel a disconnect from my body. His name is Slick, the man who used to beat up Mama and would slap and shake me when I was little because he said I cried too much and he needed to make me tough and shut me up. He was holding my arm and told me he was finally back to claim his family now that he found us, and no one was going to stop him if they know what's best for them. Hearing Glory call my name, the next thing I feel is Shadow next to me, pushing me down. Taz, put your head between your legs. No, Teddy, she'll be fine. Don't cry. In fact, I need you to sit right next to your mama. Help hold her up with your good arm. Taz, you need to breathe in and out. Glory went to get you some water. Just take it easy. We'll talk in a bit, but sister, don't worry. You know I won't let that asswipe, get his filthy paws on either of you. Promise. Teddy, don't use the bad words Auntie used, okay? I start to pray that Shadow is right and she can protect both of us, because otherwise I'm going to do whatever it takes to put Slick in the ground this time. I'm not the same woman that prick used to beat up and rape. That's for damn sure. I'll never give him a chance to hurt me or, more importantly, my boy ever again. Whatever needs to be done, I'll do with the devil's handmaiden sisters behind me having my back.